I know your name. Don't hide from me, 'cause I see all your pain. It's written in your eyes. You and I, we are one and the same. For better or for worse, our dreams are our curse. We are united in our pain. So tell me why we live like angels with no halos, walking blind in a wasteland. know your name. Don't hide from me, 'cause I see all your pain. It's written in your eyes. You and I, we are one and the same. Better off for worse, our dreams are our curse. We are united in our pain. So tell me why we live like angels with no halos, walking blind in a wasteland, a graveyard, out of sight and out of mind. You must be crazy to live so aimlessly, and yet so blind. We survive. We are fighters and we break the lies alive. We break the lies alive. Even when you're on your own, you don't walk alone. I'm by your side. Somehow we survive. Tell me why we're gifted with touch inside, but we're so blind to the demons that we all fight. Is this really by design? And if so, then what happened to our human side? If we can't let go of the hate in our souls, then I fear we've wasted our lives. We survive. We are fighters and we break the lies alive. We break the lies alive. Even when you're on your own, you don't walk alone. I'm by your side. Somehow we survive. We survive.
Hey, ladies and gents, it is here. Meaning I am here. I don't know why I said it, but I don't know whether you identify that way. I don't know. It's a weird world we live in. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's all Gucci.
Well, the world's weird anyway, so meh.
Exactly. But your boy, it's Ring Warriors night. But before we get cracking and before the other peeps come in, I thought I would do a quick breakdown as to what I have been working on. So if you didn't catch on to the stream last week, we started with the new system we've implemented where we said goodbye D20 and fully
Goodbye,
embrace the
D20.
D12.
Mhm.
And after that stream, there were quite a few critiques, which I took on board as we went into my mindset for version of the game 3.5, dubbed it.
Mhm.
And needless to say, this is my little handy sheet that I have to one side, known as my changes and updates log. You basically, if you play an online game or any game that has online connectivity, and every so often you have patch notes, basically think of these as my patch notes as I go along. So I'm literally writing every change, every new thing, every crazy thing that I end up doing is on this page. Or should I say, on these 26 pages of changes.
Jeez. That's a lot of changes.
Oh yeah, changes, additions, amendments, you name it. This had some crazy stuff on it. And we're going to go all the way down to number 97. That's a reference. So where are we? Ah, yes, I believe. Yeah. I believe this. No, we want to be. Here we go. So from the 3rd of November, which is from Sunday of last week. So I took obviously the Friday evening. We chatted about things on the Saturday. Started rework on the Sunday. This is what we have so far. Some of these I might just quickly breeze over. Some of these I might go a little bit more in depth in. But let's go through a few things. Change for typing of D4 and D6 explanation on the wrestler's manual needed to be done. Because it just didn't. It wasn't worded right. Updated to tie class typing. Changed explanation to 10 plus harm toughness at level 1. So basically what this means is that now AC is no longer tied to a single piece of equipment that you carry throughout the game. It is now tied directly to your wrestling style, and at level 1, your starting AC is 10 plus your harm toughness. So this gives you an incentive to maybe put a big number in your toughness, or at least hope for the best. We'll be going more in depth into this a little bit later on, because with this change, it's also introduced some new changes to it. We've updated the AC breakdown and added an explanation for rolling a 1 or 12. Basically with this, rolling a 1 on a d12 still acts as if you rolled a 1 on a d20. You miss, you're terrible, you absolute plonker. Well done, nothing happens. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, for rolling a 12, a big announcement on this one, we no longer have crits. And this, it may only be a temporary thing, by all means, it's a matter of testing, but I basically changed the entirety of the damage system, so now, if you roll a 1, it's a complete miss, you fail, bad times. If you roll lower than your opponent's AC, you deal damage equal to the stat the move is linked to, but it's only the harm damage, not your base stat worth of damage. So it's supposed to incline that, oh, you went for that clothesline, but clothesline still kind of hit, but it's more like, like you put like part of your arm up to block part of it, so it still hurts, but not nearly as bad as it would have done. Which makes more sense for wrestling terminology, especially when you whack people, you see them go down, and then they snap back up again as if nothing happened. You know, it's supposed to explain those bits. Especially when wrestlers are just going, what, onto one another, but seemingly nothing happens. Meanwhile, if you do hit their AC, you do your base stat, you do the base stat worth of damage, and then when you hit 12, at least at the moment, 12 is now counted as what I'm calling a perfect hit. The perfect hit then means that it automatically hits regardless of your enemy's AC, even if your stat numbers don't roll high enough. That 12 means you have done it, bypass the AC, and you deal your favor stat in damage. So basically getting rid of crits has made me utilize harm, base, and favor a little bit more now, especially when it comes to damage output. Does this mean the removal of D6s completely from damage calculation? No. My main reason is that I've made this change so that individual moves on their own just do this damage. But skills are what grant you additional damage die, be that your D6, D4s, or even some of the more powerful ones still have D12 bonuses to them, which can garner huge damage outputs, but they're more linked to skills rather than the individual moves themselves. Makes it a little bit more balanced. Or at least that's the hope. All a matter of testing out.
That's the theory.
There you go. A game! Very, literally.
I mean, yeah, literally a game theory.
Yes. We added a range to cat size mutation, because apparently I didn't. Updated the stylist mutation. These are all the mutations on the human list. When you make a human, roll a d12, you get a random mutation. Stylus mutation. It is now changed to either boosting AC by 2 for allies or lowering enemies' AC by 2 with a 1d4 cooldown between uses, which can be quite cool. Updated The War Goes On mutation, and that's changed to being able to heal during a fight with health die. Updated Wrestlesmithing skill completely, and I'm so happy that I've redid Wrestlesmithing. I've now created a table of smithing creations that requires wrestle scrap. So effectively how it works is, if you're a dwarf and you have Wrestlesmithing, when you complete an encounter, you basically roll I believe I put it as a d6 plus your smarts, and you get that many wrestle scraps. With that many wrestle scraps in hand, you get to keep them all until you want to sit down and work on something. And then I've made a table where if you have a certain number of scraps, you can literally make anything from this table. Some of them are just straight up AC bonuses for a limited time, bonuses to certain stats for a limited time, or being able to hit with certain moves for a limited time, being able to craft your own training gear, being able to craft your own wrestling rings, being able to craft your own automated referees and automated versions of yourself, or even create little healing devices that you can attach to yourself that give you tiny bursts of healing throughout a match, but referees cannot clock onto.
So
Very interesting
essentially, you're making. So essentially, you could make Torbjorn from Overwatch if he was in the wrestling world.
Effectively, yeah.
Essentially,
You can now just make Torbjorn if you wanted to in a wrestling
yeah,
match.
because he's literally a dwarf.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome. As for dwarfs, we've updated the Industrial Dwarf Skyscraper skill, which has now been changed to a contest with a table. So, going through things, I didn't like how I worded a lot of the things that we had on the table. So now, certain skills are now stat contests. So the contests can either involve the user or the receiver, which the skill itself would define, and they roll just a d6 on its own. Then, depending on that result, will result in something happening. So, if an opponent's rolling, the opponent wants to roll a 6, because 6, the chances are, a 6 is the best outcome that can possibly happen for an opponent, while 1 is the worst. But if the user needs to roll it, it's the complete opposite. The user's best rolling a 1 to make sure that nothing happens. No, it's the opposite, sorry. So, the user's best rolling a 6 to make sure that what they want to do does the worst, best, possibly most destructive amount of damage or status that it can possibly do to an enemy, while if you get number 1 as the user, nothing happens. And you don't want that. Adds an interesting little trick to things, and because it depends on the roll of a dice, it gets people around the table going, oh, and then you realise you rolled a 1 and they're like, oh, come on! Adds to the emotion, which of course, wrestling matches, gotta have that emotion.
Speaking of emotions, hi Evie.
No
Okay,
response. Great emotion.
I think did you speak, oh mighty Evie? I saw a green light up on her mic, but
Oh, Evie, guardian of the forest, granter of many evolutions.
I hear sound. Speak, Evie.
This is just
I
funny.
am.
Yeah, hey.
Awesome.
Might be a mic sensitivity. Don't know. I mean, possibly.
So yeah, with the skyscraper skill was basically a test of how this table would look and work. I'm happy to say they are really fun, really engaging, and a real pain in the ass if you roll 1s or your lower halves, which they're going to be fun. Next, we have updated Delve into Darkness, which is the Drow racial skill. Well, no, actually, no. Delve into Darkness is no.
Is
Delve into Darkness is the Azarium skill. I'm sorry.
ooh,
Which we changed to +10 increase to speed in darkness instead of just you having double your speed in darkness. Because that could effectively mean you can be a cruiserweight sized Azarium and
Jesus.
effectively have 120 feet worth of speed per turn at level 1. Broken as all hell, need I say. Because then,
Mm.
oh no, I got downed and I have to use half my move to get up. I still have 60 feet at level 1. What?
Damn, like
It,
Jesus.
it's still bad. So that's why we changed it to only a +10 increase in darkness, because it can still help, still benefit, but you have to be in darkness for it to count. So keep that in mind. So it gives an incentive for Azarians to try and stay in the dark if they want to encourage that stealth play. Gathering of the Pack, which has been changed to a +2 boost rather than with full favor. Again, balancing it out because of a new system and things. The Able Climber is changed to a simple +2 boost rather than rolling with favor. Updated Safer in the Depths to have a proper contest table. So now, depending on how you rolled it, depends on how much protection you have from the moves and do you fully hide yourself. Ooh.
Ooh.
Faithful Allegiance skill, which is changed to a +2 to attack hitting. Shark Tooth Grip, big change for the Sharkons. Amended damage, so now the damage of Shark Tooth Grip is now 1d6 plus smarts with an additional 1d4 if bleeding goes through on a 12, which is the more interesting part. And then damage increases per level are just +2 damage at certain levels.
Speaking of +2 damage at certain levels, hi Foxy.
Hello.
Because that worked.
Yes,
Oh,
That
I mean,
because it's always a +2 when I'm around.
Hey,
hey.
there we go. We have changed to Pacific Push, which now has a full contest table behind it for Sharkons. Stretch Perception for the Hammerheads, and have now been changed to from roll with favor to a simple +2 to hit, which is absolutely fine. Slashing Fin has been completely amended, adding in proper bleeding damage, which is equivalent to 1d4 at the end of an opponent's turn. We updated the ear muffler skill for the Loplans, which has a brand new contest table. Ball of Fluff skill, which is now amended to be resistant to strikes rather than holds, because it didn't quite make sense how you roll up into a big fluffy ball and then you're resistant to holds. If anything, you're actually more resistant to strikes, because a strike will just go wank. Ooh, softy.
It'll be like punching into a cushion.
Or I guess you could say a sheep like the Mouflon. Oh!
Oh,
Because we love that. We love you, Mouflon.
I'm
Change-
so glad we come up with that.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't peer pressured into it at all. It's absolutely fine.
Of course not. No. Even
No.
though it was totally worth it.
Exactly. The long skill for the Loplans has been changed. An increase from 10 feet of range to 15 feet of range. Adorable Main has now changed to a power save. Updated. Oh yes. That was just ending that one for that one day was all that. Okay. On the 4th, so this is the Monday, even more. So much more. So from the 4th, we basically started amending a bunch more of the racials. We updated the First for Magic skill for the Blight Elves, which added it only deals harm damage. Well, the Husk only deals harm damage, but that increases to main stat damage at level 10 and favor damage at level 20, meaning that by the time you hit level 20 and you're using your Husk as a Blight Elf, it actually starts doing a half decent amount of damage, which is good because at that point health levels are much higher. You want that output to help you out. Then we have the updates to the different mists for Hissen. Nothing too
Ooh.
crazy. We've basically been changed to now have uses equal to the appropriate harm stats rather than just having so many uses. Some of them even had no restricted uses at all, which is quite crazy. So they've been amended. So Green Mist has uses equal to harm smarts per encounter. Red Mist is harm power per encounter. Blue Mist is harm wits per encounter. Yellow Mist is harm appeal per encounter. Notice Black Mist isn't on there, but I believe I actually put one on Black Mist already. If it isn't, I will have to go back. I will amend it a bit.
I will double check.
Thank you very much, Tash, because I know Tash uses Black Mist, so it's absolutely fine.
All the time. I mean, what?
So we've lowered the DCs for Personal Hood and Rattles of Doom, lowered the DC for Titan Grip, so that it's more in line with where the stat rolls now are, lowered the DC for Poisonous Sweat, so the Hissens have just been a little bit more accurately balanced, depending on the rolls. Big change to Agricons with Earthbound Warrior. The big change is that now the entire skill is different. So whilst Agricons are above 50% of their max health, they have a +1 to their AC. When below 50% of their health, they have a -1 to their AC, but their speed changes to the next lowest weight class, but they are still the weight class they're supposed to be. So in other words, if you're a heavyweight Agricon, I believe your speed is 25 or it's 30, it's one or the other. Effectively, if you drop below 50% of your health, you have the speed of a light heavyweight while still having the properties of a heavyweight. Which kind of makes sense because you're shedding the top layer. You've got your lower layer, which has more of access to your core, but as a response to that, you are a little bit lighter on your feet. Cool. Adds a little bit of a funky thing that the Agricons now have right off the bat. Update to Seismic Plates, which now do 1d6 damage flat and at levels, and have increased damage by 1d6 at levels 8 and 15. And we changed how Seismic Plates work. So Seismic Plates should no longer be a save. Seismic Plates are now an attack against every opponent within range. So if they beat the opponent's AC, you get pierced by them. Simple as that. And if that doesn't add up with what it says on the manual, there was a problem with the manual where apparently my changes to Seismic Plates didn't go through originally. If it says something like a save still, disregard that. It's wrong and I'll need to go back and amend it. But again, there's been some weird problems with some of the manual. But at least I know what the changes are because I made them on here. Huzzah! Another reason why you always write a change log in case shit happens. But that's all good. Updated Ancient's Energy, which is now changed to Ancient Energy because I don't know why it was called Ancient's Energy. For change damage at later levels to 1d6 at levels 8 and 15, and changed to a smart save. Healing Ripple has now changed a little bit, so it's way more balanced. To heal, players must now touch the Agricon that has this skill activated. Healing increases, now changed to 1d6 at levels 8 and 15, and allies can only heal off of the Agricon twice total whilst the Agricon is in that state. It just means that they can't just tag by the Agricon every round to get that big boost of healing before they go into a fight. It now means that they actually have to use their Agricon ally as a potential, do I heal or do I go for the Cloves 9 attempt? I don't know. Options, people. We like options. Updated.
yeah.
We'll go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, what I've got here from what I've like copy and pasted, but I'm going to read more from the manual because, like, that way my I'm not so paranoid about forgetting anything and all that jazz. Let's have a look-see. That is yeah. Yeah, there's me like, "I have it! I don't have it! Oh,
No.
now I have it. Okay. Okay, I now have it. Okay. Let's see. Any creature sprayed with this mist must roll a toughness save DC 8 on their turn to break out. So I'm going to assume that it's sort of automatic. You get stuck, and you must roll a toughness die to break out of said mist.
Effectively, yeah. Now it's basically you throw out the attack damage wise. Oh no, you throw it out as an attack. If you beat your opponent's AC, I may need to elaborate the description a little bit because I knew I need to go back and do something with Black Mist.
Okay.
Basically, you have to treat it as an attack to get the Black Mist off, but then every turn after it's been set onto your opponent, they have to roll a save in order to break out of the mist, or else they're stuck into it. Because it's turned into glue. Big, strong, industrial strength snake glue.
Or or the way I have decided to make Lavagna's snaky glue work, like expanding foam.
Yes, that's a good idea for it. We've updated the Feel the Heat skill, which is now changed to a save. Magma damage enemy received is reduced to harm power on Agricon's attack and 1d4 plus power on being attacked. And damage increases has been changed to 1d4 at levels 8 and 15, and at level 20 changed from d12 when you hit level 20 to the dice becoming d6s at level 20. Still damaging, but not nearly as crazy damage as it would have been from day one. Updated the small package skill, which is the one of the skills for the gnomes, which has now added a DC 8 for opponents to try searching for the gnome. We changed the Steady as a Rock skill, which has been changed to taking harm damage instead of favor damage. Updated Tire class hit explanation. So that was what I was saying earlier. 12s on attack rolls automatically hit regardless of AC. So 12s of a new 20, but again, removal of crit, inputting favor damage and base stat damage and harm stat damage. Updated Adaptive Climber, which has been changed just to a +2 boost, kind of like the climber from earlier. Underground Combat has made into a contest. Dark Embrace changed to a DC 8 wit save. And we changed the legs effect to opponent cannot commit to any move requiring the legs, just to make it a little bit more balanced. Because simply saying that at level 1 it stops your opponent from moving, I found it a little bit too crazy. So we removed that just because the arm part was can't do anything with the arms. It makes sense that you can't commit to a move with the legs if we were to use your legs instead. That's what we're going with. So that was when I updated all the races as of the 4th. Moving on to what I did on the 6th. This was when I started to consider ripping my own hair out or consider even shaving my long beard. I know, crazy idea. Because this is when we finally start changing the styles.
How about ripping out your beard?
Well, that's just not nice.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just
Neither is ripping off your hair.
Yeah, but in all honesty, bald, really good look right now.
Yes.
And ripping out my hair wouldn't nearly be as painful as ripping out your beard, because at least you got thicker strands of hair, which in layman's terms would technically mean that you would have a big burst of pain at first that will gradually fade out. Because the hairs on your beard are tinier, ripping out those bad boys would sting like all fuck.
But either way,
Yes.
it's all hair, so does it really matter?
A very good point, Tash. A very, very good point. So,
Yes.
when we started, when I started amending things for the styles, the big change for every single style. AC and starting equipment have been changed. There is no more starting attire. AC is now linked to styles, like I said earlier. So effectively, that's most of the stuff we put on. We've now added an AC or stat boost section to level tables. This is the fun part.
Ooh.
Basically, every 5 levels in the game, you will have a major choice. So, as I said, at level 1, your AC is now calculated as 10 plus your harm toughness. Now, every 5 levels, starting from level 5 onward, you get a choice. Do you put a +1 into your AC, or do you put a +1 into one of your main 6 stats? Be that
Ooh.
power, cunning, toughness, smarts, wits, and appeal. Of course, big decisions, and it gives you a reason to update your stats. I can finally take my stats to 10! No, you can't, Jimmy. Because I've specifically wrote into the rules, you can boost your stats up to a maximum of 6. Not boost them any further than 6. So effectively, if you rolled like a god during character creation, and you got all 6s like a crazy person, and I know you exist out there, crazy person, I'm gonna meet you, and when you do, you're gonna piss me off. But at least you're gonna get +1s to AC because you are lucky. Oh god. It basically gives you options. Do you want to do +1 on your stats, +1 to your AC, make myself harder to hit, or simply make my hits a little bit more hard hitting, or easier to hit saves, easier to hit stat checks? Your choice. I love giving you choices. Aha. With that, we then start with a technician, a style that needed a big rework. It just wasn't working as well as I thought, but now I think it really stands out. Clean and Simple has now been changed to a wits roll to now counter opponents' attacks. So now the technician is all based around counter maneuvering your opponent. At least that's one element of it. Control of a ring now triggers as a bonus function after damaging an opponent, and then you can change their positions accordingly. And the range has also been increased to 10 feet, with an increase to 20 feet and 30 feet on later levels. Quick Switch has been updated. The skill has been changed completely, so now instead of changing from one to another, Quick Switch now allows players to instantly attack again with a new submission move after landing their first one, which deals 1d6 plus wits in damage when hit, and can perform equal to harm wits per encounter, but this does count as part of your sequence. Well, no, this doesn't count as part of your sequence, because I didn't put it in there, so technically it doesn't. Yet. Lasting Effect has been changed to a toughness contest with an appropriate table. It's a fun one, I hope you read it. We've changed the unmoving skill to the name Lockdown, a completely new level 11 skill for technicians down one of the trees. From level 11, you are capable of shutting down your opponent and keeping them submitted. If you perform the same hold again during your sequence, your opponent must roll a wit save, DC 10. On a failed save, they are counted as downed during and after you have performed the move. Which leads me to my next big change about how the game works. Everyone loves smacking people in the face, so strikes work. Everyone loves being able to suplex people, being able to do crazy things by grabbing them and doing it. Grapples work. But one thing that didn't quite work was holds. Because it was the whole idea that you would roll, obviously you would roll to hit with your d20. If you hit, you then had your d6 plus your damage. And then after you calculated damage, you got out your handy d4. And your d4 calculated how long they were in the hold for. It worked at level 1 because you didn't have a sequence. After you started getting your sequence, it's like, what's the point of having holds when they only last for 4 turns and I have to waste the entirety of my turn, sacrificing the entirety of my sequence if I used a hold to start things with. What's the point? So I've changed how holds work. I may not have put it into the full explanation yet, but I'll definitely explain it now. How holds work now. Effectively, holds would just do anything a strike does or a grapple does, where you just simply do it, deal the damage, and that's it. But the special property of holds, if you finish your sequence with a hold on your opponent stays in that hold and on your opponent's turn they have to break out of the hold with a power save. If they fail the power save, they are stayed in the hold, and effectively you can start your turn with them still in the hold and still have full control over your opponent if it works. And also, by keeping an opponent in a hold, if your ally then wants to attack that opponent you have in a hold, their attack rolls with favour. But after they successfully hit, the hold is then broken, unless you have some of the skills that are in some of the styles a little bit later on. Gives the holds a little bit more utility and a little bit of reason to now use them. Some styles now excel at using holds. It's definitely something to look into now, and it encourages new hold play styles, but it hopefully does get considered at least. Hopefully that just makes it a lot better. I hope people understand what I bloody well meant by all of that.
Speaking of understanding what you meant by all that, hi Vinny.
Hello, Winnie.
What up, my G's?
Perfect timing.
Nice.
I've always got perfect timing.
Of course.
I'm a
Yeah,
rock star.
there
I'm
was,
fashionably late.
there is always, there has been, when I got here and when you got here, a perfect segue
Oh
moment.
yeah. Provided by Tash.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay, so unmoving skill changed to lockdown makes way more sense and a way more cooler sounding move. Precision slam has now been changed to tight grip. So as a grappler, you know that having a tight grip on your opponent is necessary to perform moves accurately. For level 3, you can perform grapple attacks on any weight class without having to roll checks. You can perform this equal to your power stat before requiring a rest. The reason why I didn't put that as harm power is simply because you can go an entire age without needing a rest, but then if you use all of these skills just to be able to suplex a gigaweight opponent in your first match, and you have a second match right afterwards, and you're like, oh great, it's a super heavyweight and I'm a cruiserweight. Oh great. See what I mean? Obviously it's something that's going to
Yeah.
have to be worked on, but it gives people something to consider, but they need to keep tabs on it. The double trouble skill projects a copy of yourself which performs a sequence on a different opponent within 60 feet. A new final skill to have down one of the technician trees. Very cool indeed. We've updated the change of plan skill, so now your grapple expertise is beyond limitations, capable of going toe-to-toe with gods. From level 15, when you successfully land a grapple move, you can immediately use your climax move, but your climax move for this roll only deals 1d6 plus cunning. This does not count as part of your sequence, and you can perform this equal to your harm cunning until requiring a rest. Effectively, if you went down that tree and survived till that age, 3 climax moves! To an extent. But it's quite crazy. Basically, your climax move becomes also a mini signature move at the same time. So it gives you more of an incentive to just burst it out there and go crazy. The Let Me Show You skill is now gone because it just didn't work anymore. It has now been changed to counterproductive. This is more down the counter tree for technicians, which I now believe is my favourite tree for technicians. As a reversal artist, you prefer to let the fight come to you rather than you come to it. For level 3, you have an additional +2 to counters you make against your opponent. So basically you have a +2 to roll against their attacks, to counter their attacks, to do your own thing. Changed the counter efficient skill to snap counter, which deals an additional 1d6 damage on counter attacks. Changed the see what I see skill, which allows you to counter opponents targeting allies within 10 feet of you, and change the out of nowhere skill, which is now allows technician to move 30 feet and instantly attack another opponent after a counter. So it's all based around counters. It still gives the technician maneuverability around the battlefield or around the ring. It's insane. I love it, and I hope people pick that up in the future. Then we had an update to Twice More, which is now a toughness contest. I found the 1000 moves, which is the level 20 skill for technicians, has now been just had a simple update to the description because of the previous skill updates, so it just needed a bit of balancing. Then we get to the powerhouse. Larger than life skill has been changed to a power save of DC 8. The test of strength skill has been changed to a power contest with a table of results. Power in the suplex has now been changed to crippleplex, which does a -2 to opponent's AC after a successful suplex. Which now makes suplexing so important, and I know this made Vinny very happy.
You're not wrong.
There you go. Weaponized suplex now has a range of 30, with damage coming to 1d6 plus power. Delayed suplex has a much better description, and you don't waste turns keeping them in the suplex hold. It's now you roll 1d4, which does d6 damage rolls, and can be used equal to your harm power per encounter. Basically, you know when they do a delayed suplex in wrestling where they lift someone up, go, and then drop it? It's basically simulating that. But you basically roll a d4 to see how many times you do your and then depending on the number you roll, depends on how many d6s you add to damage for that one suplex. It's a little bit insane, but you gotta make a suplex insane. Simple as.
What was that?
So that's the weaponized suplex.
Ooh.
Oh no, that was delayed
Level-
suplex, sorry. And
What
then
level do I get?
that
That's right.
is, I want to say that's level 11, you get that one?
Ooh. Can't wait.
And then updated the suplex for train. Don't worry, you can still suplex for train. It now allows you, we basically reworded it just a little bit, which now allows you to suplex giga-weight objects within 30 feet of you and can be performed equal to your harm power per rest. The giga-weight objects do insano damage and have fun. And yes, trains do count as giga-weight objects.
Question, Dom.
Yes.
Does the ring count as a gigawatt object?
Yes.
What about the crowd?
The crowd is not an object. The crowd
What
is
if I was
made
to
of
pick up the
individual
stands?
suplexing capability.
What if I was to try and pick up the stand?
The stand still has a
The
floor.
stand that has a bunch of people sitting on it.
Erg's got goals.
It
He's
would
got
be a pretty.
dreams.
Let's put it this way: you would have to roll a check for that, but we can cut the agreement on it. I'm
If
sure
I
we can.
critted that though, if I critted that,
If you critted it, then fuck yeah, those people are dead. But damn, you suplexed.
Erg's turn to heal.
Like if you want blood on your hands, sure, but the only person,
That-
we've got Liam, and
That's how Erg
he's a
becomes a
bloodthirsty
member of the
murderer.
dark side of the wrestling
I mean,
ring.
this is true. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, Erg has actually killed someone by breaking their jaw open.
That is a point.
When did I? What?
Yeah, like when I accidentally I was trying to okay, so this is when we were in that back alley type of thing, that Bad Street, USA.
Yeah.
So I tried grabbing the guy and being intimidating, but I rolled a nat 1, so it ended up being a kiss. But because of Lavagna's snake mist, it actually fastened his mouth shut. So we're like, can you make his mouth open so he can answer our questions? You got a nat 20, and then he just broke his jaw open. And
I
there's
wasn't
like,
here
Oh,
for that.
oh yeah, he wasn't there for that. I don't think.
This
Well-
is Erg's dark side that only happens when I'm not here. This
Yeah.
is like Erg's alter ego, like in Gotham with Edward, Enigma,
Enigma.
the Riddler.
Yes, the Riddler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When in the later seasons when he starts going a little bit insane and doing things at night, it's that.
It's so fun. But yeah, it kind
And
of
the
ties
Rottweiler
in as well with
as
Erg's smarts because he can't remember, so it's fine.
It's Ergington the Third coming out.
There you
Yes.
go. Or his evil personality. If Ergington III is his smarter side, his evil side, or you'd be like the Erginator.
No, Ergington
You
III
just
is
got
evil, just when-
Erginated.
It's Ergington the Third is evil. It's when he takes the smarts pill. Erg is still in control.
Uh,
Love it.
But when he's not in control, you'll know the difference because Erd grows a little mustache.
Nice.
When he's not
and
doing
and like gets a top hat
it. Mm.
Of
And,
course.
the monocle.
and
Monocle.
like the monocle.
Yes.
And can somehow produce a cup of tea from anywhere.
Of course. Of course.
Like, but the teacup has to be made from like a part of his rocky
Oh,
exterior.
No, he actually pulls out from the interior. It takes 1
Oh,
HP off of him to do it, but
So,
I love
carrying
segues.
on with some of my changes for the powerhouse.
Yes.
The updates to the power bomb speciality powerhouse. So, drop the bombshell now has a new power save and has an increased range of 15 feet and harm power to failed saves within that 15 feet radius. Going nuclear is now changed to a toughness save, and the attack rolls with harm and deals only harm damage for 1d4 turns, which is still quite damaging. The impact zone skill has been updated to now be a toughness contest and can be used equal to harm toughness best. The Worlds Collide skill has a range increase of 30 feet, and we've removed the uses because you should just be able to use that whenever you want. The Suck It In skill, and this is for the third powerhouse tree that's more power absorbing. Suck It In now heals for 1d6 flat with improvements as powerhouse levels. The Smashing Reflection skill inflicts harm damage on opponents that attack. Toughness check needed. We updated the Strike Bouncer skill, with an increased range of 30 feet. Changed the name of Strike Bouncer to Attack Bouncer, because now it can bounce any attack, not just strikes. We've updated the Hammer Stamp skill, which added a DC 10 power save and can be used equal to harm power for needing rest. Updated the Unstoppable skill, where momentum attacks deal favor damage and add 1d6 damage on a perfect hit. And then we move to the Brawler, so this is important for...
Hello.
So we've added a DC 8 save to Shadow Strike.
Sweet.
We have updated the Old 1-2, which deals 1d6 damage, which includes harm and base stats at later levels.
Sweet.
Stronger, and an update to all the stances. So, Strong Guard stance, now we've reduced the uses from 5 per encounter to 3 per encounter. Make it a little bit more challenging. It was overpowered, okay, Tash?
I get you.
It was quite OP.
It was very OP.
Pretty much. Bob and Weave now has an increased range of 10 feet. Harry Stanch no longer gives a retaliating attack, and its uses are reduced to 3. Dirty Style has changed quite a bit, which has now changed to rolling an appeal check to cause damage and cause harm, and can be performed 3 times per encounter. Updated the opening stance as well, where you attack during an attack opening now deals an additional 1d6 damage.
Ooh.
Now you have more unique options there for your disposal. Changed to Precision Blow, which has been changed due to how perfect hits now work. Added a DC 10 save to the Heart Attack Blow. Reduced the damage of Shin Splint to 1d4 per 10 feet. Increased damage of Jawbreaker to 1d6. And then updated the Muay Thai Discipline skill. Changed to favor damage on certain strikes and removed its uses, because it's one of those things where you should just be able to do willy-nilly. Updated the Ground and Pound skill, so now you attack equal to your harm power. Now has a 1d4 cooldown. The Aikido Discipline skill has been changed to a Cunning contest with a table of results, and be used equal to harm cunning per encounter. The Nagewaza skill is changed to putting opponent into a down position after using an S. Opponent must be moving towards or past the Brawler for you to do it. Updated the Karamewaza, which is now updated to deal favor damage in holds. Opponents won't be knocked out of the holds when attacked. This linked to what I said earlier, where you have favor to hit an opponent who's stuck in a hold, but of course you would normally hit them, oh no, now they're out of a hold. Now with this tree, it basically means you keep them in the hold, and all of your allies can literally gang up on them and can just go all with favor and just go nuts. It's pretty cool. Update to the so that's Karamewaza. Updated the 5 sword skill which has lowered the damage, but on a 6, so it does 1d6 plus power. But if you roll a 6, the damage includes your favor stat. It's cool. That has a 1d4 cooldown. Kempo
Sweet.
Discipline now has a wit save. Flashing Mace now lowers AC by 2 on a failed save for the next 1d4 turns. Thundering Hammers has now got a DC toughness save to do that ranged lightning bolt damage. You can literally drop the Mjolnir on them. Brawl for All skill can now be performed equal to your harm smarts per rest and counts as part of your sequence. This was quite a big one because I realised that you can effectively just do Brawl for All, Brawl for All, Brawl for All, Brawl for All, and go absolutely nuts on your entire opponents all in a big circle around you. Now as part of your sequence. Mind.
Sweet.
Last Resolve skill's been updated, which grants an additional D12 of health upon succeeding saves with 0 HP. Which now leads me on to how we've updated the system for recovering from 0 HP and recovering from pin saves, submission saves, and death saves. So for those,
And this is very important for me.
yeah, because you've been the most consistent death guy so far.
Yeah, so far, and also the most frequent killer in the ring also.
So, how these work. To trigger a pin save, simply take your opponent. Your opponent has to be in a downed position. They can still have HP, they can have 0 HP. You use a bonus function to jump on top of them, pin them, hope for the best. For submission saves, if you end your turn with a hold, and you want to, obviously the hold keeps, you can use a bonus function to try and make them submit on that turn, which then rolls submission saves, or it will automatically start rolling submission saves if they're on 0 HP. Death saves, it's very much simple as it's 0. You hit 0 HP. If it's a death match, just gotta roll your saves and hope for the best. So rolling your saves, basically take your trusty D6, and you have a chance to recover yourself. But things have now if I remember, I believe I've now changed this. So now saves are a little bit different. Saves used to be involving, I believe they used to involve the D6, and it was if you rolled a 4, 5, or 6, you got out of it. If you rolled a 1, 2, or 3, that counts as 1. We've made this a little bit harder. So now, and this is bearing in mind, you do not roll stat boosts with these whatsoever. Now, in order to test things, pin, submission, and death saves are calculated with your D12.
Ooh.
And with your D12, you have to roll either a 10, 11, or 12 to earn your save. If you roll lower than a 10, 11, or than a 10, it counts against you. Now making these saves way more important than ever. But if you now break out of it and you're on 0 HP, the original idea is that when you break out of one of these saves and you're on 0 HP, you get to come back into the fight. You roll one of your health die, which uses one of your health die, plus your toughness. You got that much health, and you can get back into the fight. And this can keep happening until you run out of health die. And then let's put it this way. If you kick out and you have no health die left, you are counted as knocked out, and your opponent can win via knockout. That's how it's now working. But if it's a death match, that now means that you break out of a potential pin, but you're dead. You effectively wake up just to go, fatality. Delayed fatality. So we've made that a little bit tougher. just to make it a little bit more engaging and a little bit more when it does happen. This might change.
I think just
Bear that
as
in
an
mind.
added little tiny thing, if you roll a 12 and you've got no health die left, you should just get 1 HP back on the last wind.
I mean, we can consider that, but at the moment, this is how we're doing it. We'll see how things go. Definitely see how things go.
Fair enough.
From here. So with that in mind, the last resolve basically means that when you come back after lowering from 0 HP, you roll your health die, add your toughness, but you can also add another d12's worth of health, but you can only ever use this skill once during an encounter. Gotta bear that in mind. I believe I set it to encounter, but I might change it to per rest, because it's a little bit crazy, but we'll see how it goes. And I'll check it later. Slobberknocker skill has now been changed to a power or cunning save, depending on what you want. And then we move to the Luchador, which is important for Liam.
Yes, it is.
So with these changes, Masked Power, reduce uses to 1d4 at level 2, with
Okay.
increases to d6 at level 9 and d12 at level 17.
Nice.
Make it a little bit more balanced with the damage output there. Updated Cunning Deceit, which is now changed to a cunning check to become stealthed, which makes way more sense. Updated the Heart of a Luchador, which has reduced uses to harm appeal stat to balance it out a little bit more. Updated Expert Adapter, which is now changed to a Wits check, and on a success, the Luchador can no moves the opponent uses and takes harm damage from them, and is only active on one opponent at a time. Makes it a little bit more unique in that sense. Inner Hero skill, which has removed the appeal damage, but now has uses equal to harm appeal. The Locked in Tight skill is now changed to a toughness contest with results table, can be used equal to harm smarts per encounter. Change the name of Critically Struck to Perfect Shot. Updated the Fearful Shadow skill, which is now changed to a DC 10 cunning save. And we updated the fan favorite. This was the major one for Luchador, because I wanted to
Yes.
make the Impresario a really cool idea, but it didn't quite hit the mark. So now we've changed it completely, and if anyone's played Diablo 2, you may see where this is going. So, fan favorite. Your Luchador talents are loved by everyone, and that love echoes through your soul. From level 3, after landing a successful attack, you can roll 1d4. The resulting roll summons that many gnome-sized fans that start chanting your name. These fans can be used to attack opponents, but only deal 1d4 damage. They use your stats for landing the attacks. These fans can also be used to power up an ally's next attack within 30 feet. You may perform this skill equal to your appeal before requiring a rest, but cannot have more than 4 fans at a time. This is where the fun begins. You can tell I'm excited. We've changed We've changed the Deep Within skill to Crowd Eruption. This is why I was referencing Diablo 2. Crowd Eruption. Impresario are the flamboyant luchadors that inspire the people around them, making them erupt into applause. From level 7, you may instruct your fans to climb onto an opponent within 30 feet. Your opponent must roll a toughness save, DC 10. On a failed save, the fans climb onto the opponent and explode, dealing 1d6 damage for each fan you have in control. Basically mixed together Corpse Explosion, Super Ghost Kamikaze Attack, and Joutsu in one skill. It's
Jeez.
fun.
I
But
hope you
wait.
know I'm going to be calling that tree of the Luchador the Gnomeromancer for the rest of this campaign.
But wait,
Probably, yeah.
there's more. Because we've also
Oh,
got.
what?
Oh yeah, there's more.
I'm going to also be making a wrestler called Bernard with that tree.
Of course. We have now updated the soul stealing skill, and this does something great. So, soul stealing skill. Your talents to inspire others are world-renowned, allowing more in-depth creations. You can now create up to 1d6 fans, and if you roll a 6, you can instead create a fan who is giant-sized. This giant deals 1d6 damage on attacks, or allows allies to roll on an additional 1d6 for damage. This giant also explodes using Crowd Eruption, but deals 2d12 damage in a 15-foot circle, and you can only have one giant fan at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, Impresario, the Necromancer of the...
Yes.
Nice.
Go out and enjoy. Then we've updated the big finale, which now has an increased DC to DC 12 and requires a rest after usage. Three Amigos has been updated to where you simply perform 3 suplexes and use the appeal stat to calculate damage. Updated the Ariba skill, so that's now fully changed. Your power comes from your inner strength and the strength of those around you. For level 10, you can roll an additional +2 to any appeal-based check. Simple as. Updated the animal bonuses for the Lucha Persona. There were just little changes, little typography changes. Nothing too major, but they needed to be changed. Updated Libre Lift, which now has uses equal to harm power per encounter. And then we go to the Extremist, and this is as far as we've gone so far with the updates, because I wanted to make sure that the player characters were all ready for this evening.
Woo!
So, what did we do for the Extremist? Ironically, the Extremist had the least changes, because it was actually pretty alright. So with the Extremist, we've updated Old Reliable, which now has your reliable weapon can only break on a successful check made by the opponent, or if you want it to break. So if your opponent chooses to break your weapon, they can try to, or if you wish to break it with a certain skill later on, you can if you wish, or even if you want to break it on your own volition. We've updated Makeshift Weaponry skill. We added that these weapons use the Smart stat for damage calculation. We've updated Super Weapons, which has had changed damage output to favor damage when using a super weapon. Threatening Swing has now been changed to an appeal save, DC 10. The Makeshift Gloves has now got an added toughness save, and bleed damage is now 1d4, so that's properly calculated. We've changed the name from Makeshift Gloves as well to Combat Gloves, so that's a little bit more unique and not quite linked to makeshift weaponry. We've changed Dents Don't Matter to now the following. Whether it is your weapon or your body, when you see a dent, it is easy to shrug it off. From level 5, when an attack is made against you, you can use your weapon as a shield, granting you a +2 for AC. To perform this feature equal to your harm toughness before requiring a rest. And basically, that is all the changes for Extremist, all the changes and updates so far. Happy to say, coming along very well. Next step, Strong Styler. See how that goes. I'm looking forward to see how this plays.
I'm just
I
double-checking
think-
it.
Oh, carry on.
The Extremist, their sort of signature weapon. So in the case of Artemis, their cards, like example, they're now not granted only through actions.
Say it again, sorry, it just cut out
So-
for me.
No like usage timer for the Extremist's faithful weapon.
Yeah, so
Right.
basically, Old Reliable now no longer breaks after so many uses. My reasoning
Excellent.
behind that is simply because why is it named Old Reliable if Old Reliable breaks after 4 uses? Pathetic.
I have to say that's one thing that I wanted to raise, and I completely forgot
It's-
every single time. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But
If it's,
their signature weapon would break on them.
exactly.
like, unless
It's
it's designed to.
stupid. I agree it was stupid, hence why it's changed. Hope people are happy. You're welcome.
I hope you realise now that with this, I'm going to exploit the Extremist that uses a painting. An unbreakable painting.
Unbreakable Mona Lisa.
Also,
I'm gonna kill you
Could
with
work.
this Monet painting.
Jesus.
For Monet Lisa.
Also, Dom, I think you may have a fan. Like, I have a friend of mine who's watching this stream right now through YouTube, methinks, and
Nice.
he's a really big fan of the the exploding dog
Oh,
pile
the
thing.
Impresario Luchador.
The Impresario, yeah.
Crowley
Welcome.
Yeah.
Notice that my wrestling acumen has come in, because now for Luchador we have the Rudos, the Technicos, and the Impresarios, which are the 3 different types of luchadors in Lucha Libre. Yes, I know enough about wrestling to know these things. That's why this is literally a tabletop wrestling game made by a huge wrestling fan, or both wrestling fans and tabletop fans, because my goddamn, I want you to. Those are the updates for Ring Warriors so far. I might have more in future. If people that are watching the stream do indeed want to see more of the updates in future streams, please let me know. I might even do dedicated short videos for YouTube going over the changes instead. But by all means, let me know. But with that said, let's cut the crap. Let's flick to the game screen.
Yes!
It is time. We've got the gang all here. We've got
Woo!
Liam Cyber O'Reilly, Erg the Geode, Vanya Wreckable, Artemis Quartz. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some Ring Warriors?
Yeah!
Let's get rolling.
Next week,
lads.
because we're not. No, I'm joking. Of course, I'm.
Dom, I
would've
swear.
actually come to your house and murdered you, Dom.
Okay, yeah, I was joking. Don't you? I will say now, however, and I'll probably repeat this at the end. Sadly, there will not be a Ring Warriors next week. The reason for that is because me and my lovely other half, Heather, are going on a breakaway to London, and it'll be the last time we see each other after Christmas, so we just want to take full advantage. Everyone understands. Have a week off. Then we'll be back a week afterwards on the lead up to Christmas. And by the way, happy news! I might be working on a Christmas special!
Woo!
Ooh.
A special
Also,
Ring Warriors
Do
Christmas.
I get to suplex Santa?
You might have the chance to suplex Santa.
Also, there is the fact that I will be unavailable next week as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So where were we? I know where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, back into the world of Ring Warriors. So, last time, we had our first match of a brand new Big Shark-On pay-per-view in the Bermuda Triangle, featuring none other than Erg taking on a long-lost friend Grunk for the High Mountain Championship, where Erg pretty much unanimously won that one. It was a pretty straightforward, single-handed fight. Erg came to it, and he's now the High Mountain Champ, which is pretty darn great.
By the way, I have a little question. It's still with like there is no plus cunning and stuff like that with the equipment, or how? Hello. Because I accidentally I didn't save last week, so I had my old 11 plus cunning spring hide tides.
Yes. So everyone can calculate this now if you want. And also bear in mind, because you guys are level 5 as well, your AC is 10 plus your harm toughness, but because you are level 5, you can either put a +1 into one of your stats, which you could just do, let me know, and I can update the things on the screen for next week, or whenever I can for our next session, or you can put +1 into your AC and make yourself that little bit tougher. You can let me know, you can just do it yourself and let me know later. Have fun with that.
I've already made my choice. Oh yeah, I've already made my choice.
Same.
Toughness all the way.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the toughness as well.
And just to
Right.
remind you,
What's
you
my
cannot boost a skill over 6. Only boost it up to 6.
Yeah.
But after this, I did mean AC. My brain farted.
No
Yeah,
worries.
my new toughness is 13
Okay.
instead of 11, which it was last week.
Yes.
I'm gonna boost my wit to 30.
Nice. Absolutely fine. Woody beans. Navanya, what did you do with yours?
I boosted my attire class, so it is now a 14.
Me too. High five.
Yeah!
And there's a very low chance this high five will hurt either of us.
Woo!
Lovely. So with the last session, Erg has now become High Mountain Champion. Great joys everywhere. We are looking forward to the next match. But the big question is, who will be having their match next? Liam, Artemis, I want you to do me a favor. I want you both to roll me a single d6. I want to see which one of you rolls highest, and whoever rolls highest gets to choose whether they go next or they let the other one go first.
I rolled a
If they both
2.
roll a 6, can we have a tag team match?
I rolled a 5.
Okay. Artemis, you get to choose. Do you want your match versus AJ for the Hand of Fate Championship? Or do you want Liam to go first against the mysterious opponent?
I actually don't care, so.
It's
since
fine
Well,
either
since
way for me.
Liam said, since Foxy said he wasn't going to be here next week, was it?
Yes.
Then, oh yeah, it's like a week off anyway. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean-
week off anyway.
Oh, never mind. Carry on.
I guess I can go first.
Go ahead.
Lovely stuff. With that decision being made, obviously by this time, Erg's come back in the locker room, just with you guys, closing the door behind him as you just hear like a crowd of paparazzi that are trying to get in to interview him, all that jazz. As it's just you guys with Erg and the shiny new belt.
Which he's spinning currently on his left hand like a basketball.
Yeah, nice going. Nice going, Merg. Yeah, nice going, Erg. Good job out there.
Well
Good
done.
match, good friend. Good time. Belt.
Shiny.
It's miney.
And now, you're obviously the only person out of your squad without a shiny belt. Of course, Artemis themselves. May all that change as you just hear a knocking at the door.
Hello?
There's only a guy knocking on the door. I mean, he's just going to knock again because, I mean, he needs to get your attention.
Spinning his belt, he doesn't give a shit.
Liam is
Fine.
just sitting around, playing around with his technical gadget.
Fine, I'll go open the door. Then Lavanya will open the door.
How climactic.
Yeah, I know. Dun dun!
You open the door, and it's the same stagehand that guided Erg down to the ring. As he's just going, okay, I've got the next match participant. Well, I need Artemis.
I just grab my cards and go with him, I guess.
Lovely stuff. Just raise
Don't
yourself
have
up.
much.
Does anyone else have any like words of encouragement before Artemis goes out there to kick some tushy?
Ooh.
It's gonna come up with a really witty one for him. The cards are in your favour.
I would like to use my oh, carry on.
Who?
I thought Artemis said something, and I interrupted.
No, I was just saying I liked Rennie's comment.
Okay. I was going to say I would like to use my Atlanta State Champion inspiring figure belt. To say yeah.
Just
Yeah.
channeling that inspiration like that. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Maybe this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go out there, have some fun, but most importantly, avenge me for him beating me in that running race.
I will.
So I have giveth you a 1d6 like kind of inspiration dice. And you can use this during any of their rolls and adding the total number to said roll.
Yes.
Damn. That's
Keep that
good.
in mind. Any words of encouragement for you, Liam, or are you just completely absorbed into your techno lab?
Liam sort of just looks up from the techno gizmo he's tinkering with currently and just says, do as all of us before you and kick ass.
And with that said, Artemis, you follow the stagehand down. Stagehand guides you down a corridor, and as you go down said corridor, you arrive at a curtain. You can hear behind the curtain storming waves of fans waiting and bloodthirsty for the next match. As the curtains pull backwards, and how would you enter the ring?
This is your big moment. Evie?
This is a really spooky intro.
Yeah.
This is the entrance.
This is the entrance. Oh, she just said 1 sec, so.
Okay, no.
While we're waiting, just gonna borrow a hammer off of someone and put his rock into his belt.
Oh, like, Lavanya has a tool belt, so you can totally borrow that.
Sweet. Yeah,
So
I'm
you just-
embedding my rock into my belt.
Is there
Which, at the
anywhere?
moment, for the fans at home that are
So
trashing it, is a small blue rock, which he has no idea how he came about it.
Now, is this rock going anywhere in particular on your belt, or
It's gonna go in between the two mountains like a little sun.
lovely?
Aww.
Roll me a power check to see if you can successfully do this.
Oh, God.
D12 plus power.
That's
That's
D6.
16.
Well, it's
D6.
now D6 plus power, my friend.
Okay. That's an 11.
Oh, that's still pretty damn good. You take your rock and just position it exactly where you want it. You seem to lay down your belt when you put the rock on it, as if to judge it properly. And then, without even holding your belt down, you just go, ugh! One big smash, and you're like, job done.
So all of a sudden, Urg turns momentarily into a goblin from Hearthstone.
Job done.
Oh, sorry, a dwarf.
Don't you mean an orc? It's like, something you doing?
Job done.
Or it's like, I just realised if you're playing as a hunter in WoW and you're playing as an orc hunter, you can go, something need hunting? There's so many skits you can.
But speaking of hunting,
Yes.
how does Artemis enter the ring?
Question.
Ooh.
I have no idea. Like, I guess like I just walk out like I own the place because I mean my other opponent didn't show up, which I may or may not have had part of doing that, but I mean they're not here, so I just have to fight the dude that I've trained with forever.
Sounds fair. You come out, you're just like giving that expression and the exaggerations as you're coming down, but like this is your house. You know what you're doing. You got the power. AJ's got now on it because you know how he works. You've trained with him long enough to know exactly how he works in and out. We're ready for a proper beatdown. You then just simply come down to the ring, climb on in, do a little celebration. Liam!
Yes.
Roll me a d20. How hype is the crowd to see Artemis?
Let's see how hype are they. That's a 15.
Not bad. They're pretty darn hype. They're hype to see you, they're hype for another match. Hoping their hype keeps. Good stuff. And once you've entered the ring, the lights seem to dimmer a little bit, not dimming out completely, doing like a faint reddish hue as you have some very aggressive music coming on, and AJ just like storming down the ring with his patented jacket, this time with no arms, so that he's got his visible blue shark arms coming out, and a pair of wrestling shorts with his blue legs and feet. And as he's storming on out, his head still covered by a hood that just seems to cover up his whole face entirely, that you can't see it. As he just simply, he comes down to the ring, goes up to where the apron is, and kind of does the Brock Lesnar jump onto the apron and grab the ropes to express that he's got leg game. As he then just enters the ring, does a little like arm up in the air towards the audience. But how hype's the audience? Erg!
The audience is reacting in the same way that the 4 reacts.
Nice. Very nice indeed. And with that said, it's ready. You guys are ready. And of course, this is for a brand new championship that has just recently been crafted. The Hand of Fate Championship, which the referee gets from one of the stagehands nearby and sticks up in the air so that the entire audience can see it as well as yourselves. The championship itself, quite special in how it is designed. 2 side plates and a center plate on this belt. The side plates having a series of cards flourished out. Well, on one side it's a simple like hand of cards that has like an ace, 1, 2, 3. On the other one, it has a hand of tarot cards. And you, Artemis, can point out a couple of the cards specifically. There's like the World, Death. There's the like the King of Cups is on there. A couple of other ones that you can recognize right off the bat. Then you have the centerpiece. The centerpiece is of a big circular main frame, and on the inside of it being a big palm hand. And on that big palm hand is a single eye and iris on the inside. The iris being encrusted with a single sapphire glimmering with the lights of the stadium. That simply reads, above it, Hand of Fate Champion. And
It's got an evil eye on it.
roll me a smarts check and see if it is.
I got a 6.
Okay. With that smarts check, You take a good look, looking at that belt, thinking, is this giving me some bad juju? You don't seem to sense anything bad coming from it. The Blue Sapphire, if anything, is a representation for it just being a nice looking belt. With that said, the referee comes a little bit closer, shows the belt to you, takes it over to AJ, shows the belt to him, and seems to go back to the ring hand. As the ring hand that gave him a belt seems to hold onto his earpiece, and suddenly hears something from someone. You kind of overhear him just going like, "What? Are you sure?" Right. As he grabs a microphone from a little table nearby, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been notified that this match is now a ladder match." As he just puts the microphone down and everyone starts losing their shit. They start going mad. It's going to be a ladder match for the Hand of Fate Championship. And Artemis, this actually makes you a little bit happy, because now, with it being a ladder match, this is now a no disqualifications match, and you can use your cards.
Yes.
Odds really were in your favour.
Oh, yes. So without further ado, and with the crowd ready to go, it's time to see who goes first. Let's roll some dice.
What do I roll for initiative?
So it should be just a flat D12. Ooh.
I got 11.
Oh, wow. The exact same as AJ.
Oh, Jesus.
Well then.
So this means every single round we are going to have to roll against each other again to see who goes first.
Oh, jeez.
Well then.
So to see what happens, think of it as the bell rings and you and AJ are locked into an elbow and shoulder tie-up. As if to think like, oh god, who's going to really kick off this fight? Let's find out. Roll another flat D12. Oof.
I got a 9.
And AJ got another 11.
Oof.
With this in mind, the shoulder and elbow tie-up starts up pretty balanced, and then you start losing your feet a little bit, as if the power of AJ's pushing you down. And as he's pushing you down, he seems to just butt you out of the shoulder and elbow tie-up and go for a single straight punch across that face. See if he hits. And what a great start. He rolls a 1. I hate my dice rolls. I really do.
Oh.
This isn't.
Well,
I don't try to fudge my rolls or don't try to more dramatic. But in this case, it sucks.
I really like this roll.
So, AJ, or even though he starts off the match, goes for that punch and kind of like flails it madly, as you just see it just careen in front of you with a huge gap as if he pushed you too far. And you're just thinking, AJ, you're better than this. What the heck's happening? So then he thinks, like, he gets to, you can obviously see he's a little bit frustrated as he's coming over to you to try and perform an STO. And that's not the best. He only rolls an 11 versus your AC.
I don't even know what my AC is.
Let me see. What's your... Save that. Luckily, I've got your character sheet. Okay, so you have a toughness of 6. So your starting AC, farm toughness, you have a starting AC of 13.
That's not bad.
So with that in mind, I don't quite get the full extent of my STO. It kind of comes out more like a clothesline because the STO is not fully hit in. So you're not downed. You do take a little smidgen of damage. You only take 2 points damage.
That's not too bad. I can brush that off.
Yeah. Other again because it was classic. Here we are. Lovely. Right. That being done, if I this on. Back up. Right, it is now, with AJ being frustrated, he is going to look around as if to think, right, I need to grab myself a ladder, as he goes out of the ring to his left, which is in comparison to where the ramp is on the right hand side of the ramp, or the southern part of the ring. Has slides out of the ring and starts rummaging underneath the ring for a ladder, which flicks to your turn. And just so you know, Evie, in a ladder match, no disqualifications, go nuts. And to win the match, you need to set up a ladder, climb the ladder, and succeed in grabbing the title hanging above you. The title specifically is hanging 30 feet up in the air, and you need to grab that thing, hold it, and bring it down to the ring for you to be.
I have a question
Yeah.
about the specifics of this. Because I am tiny and AJ is not, do I have to use the ladder to get the belt?
If you can think of any other genius way of doing it, I will potentially let you do it. The main trick of a match, like, it's called a ladder match because traditionally the best and easiest way to get the belt is to set up a ladder, climb the ladder, and get it. But if you can use your cunning wits and your huge imagination to do it some other way to get 30 feet up in the air, I will gladly let you do it.
I'll keep that in mind then. Okay. So, AJ's out of the ring, right?
Yeah, so AJ's out of the ring at the moment, having a bit of a rummage for a ladder.
Okay. I guess I would leave him to it. And
Okay.
I'd go to like the other side and try to find a ladder. A 30-foot ladder.
Okay, let's have a look. So you flip up the ring apron, have a bit of a rummage. Roll me a smarts check.
Tom, well, Artemis is doing the smarts check. How high are the turnbuckles on a ring?
So for the sake of the game, the turnbuckles are about the same size of an average person. So the turnbuckles are about, on average, about 6 feet high.
Does this mean that technically I could win a ladder match by using leg day and jumping off a turnbuckle?
You could, yes.
Ooh.
But then you would have to succeed the checks in order to get the belt.
Well, even if I fail, I'm doing one hell of an elbow drop.
Oh, hell yeah. That's for certain.
Well, I hit a 10.
Oh.
So,
Oh. And oh. Very good. With that 10, you rummage down the ring, you see like a few different things. You see like a chair, you see like a bag that could or could not hold something of interest. But you're not too concerned about that, as you see a ladder. And you start pulling it out, and this bad boy is indeed a 30-foot ladder. And with your tiny frame, you look at it and just think, yep, this'll do.
okay, I'm gonna set the ladder against the side, and I want to go for that bag because I feel like it's gonna be interesting to have the bag on me.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna take the ladder and go set it up.
No worries. You set up the ladder just leaning against the ring. Whilst you go back and grab the bag, you grab that bag, give it like a little bit of a shake in your hands, And as you look into the bag has a series of thumbtacks.
Yes. That is amazing.
You may use them as you please.
Awesome then. I'm gonna. Do I have time, I guess it would be, to like pull the chair out from under the mat and like just have it so like I don't have to crawl under there to get it?
Yeah, sure. You can pull out the chair. Just set that up against the ring as well for handy dandy, easy to grab usage.
Yay. Now I'm gonna take that ladder and I'm gonna get it up. I'm gonna try and get it into the ring because apparently I'm.
Okay, just to double check, what is your weight class?
I have no idea. One of the lightest. I know that.
So you are a cruiserweight.
Probably that or lightweight. One of those two.
Okay.
I know I'm tiny.
Well, let's do the real question. Do you identify as cruiserweight?
Sure.
Then we are cruiserweight. With that in mind, I want you to roll me a power check on that ladder. Just so we know, by the way, checks and saves are now D6 plus the appropriate stat.
I rolled a 7 total.
You know what? That's alright. You take that ladder, it's a little bit of a struggle at first, but then you get your right handling on it and you're like, hey! And you basically, you slide it in between the top rope and the middle rope, and it just goes fing in the ring. Well done.
That's good then. So wait, so where's AJ now? Is he still under the mat?
AJ's still having a bit of a rummage, yeah. He's not doing so well on his end. For him, if you don't know whether it's his frustration or you don't know whether it's because he's wearing a very dark hood, he's just struggling to find a ladder.
I'm just gonna set the ladder up.
Okay, you set up that ladder. And as you set up that ladder, it stands incredibly tall next to you as it goes 30 feet up with the title belt hanging there in all its glory.
I'm gonna go to the edge of the mat. I'm gonna look over the edge and like look at AJ and be like, dude, the ladder's up here, dude. Like, you're not gonna find it.
AJ just kind of looks up at you and just goes, damn it, man! As if to think, yeah.
I figured, you'd want to actually have a fair fight on this.
Fair point. Okay. You've done all that. You've done quite a bit of moving, but you do have enough movement left to stand next to the ladder if you want to end your turn near the ladder. Do you want to end your turn near the end of the ring, looking over?
I'll go about halfway to the ladder.
Okay, sounds good. Like you space yourself from the edge of the ring, close to the ladder, just to make sure. Don't know whether AJ's going to be cheeky or anything. Which leads us to the next round. Means, of course, we need to roll another d12 against each other. But before we do, Lavanya, how hype of a crowd?
Oh god. Sorry. Right. Let me roll a thing. So, what do I need to roll? A d12?
D12, please.
It's a 12.
Even though all the crowd have seen are a couple of botch moves and you setting up a ladder, they're just excited. They just want it. They're like, Oh my god, it's a ladder match! Ah, shit! That's super hype over all the basic stuff, which is good. You're so over. Okay. Now we move on to the next one. Let's both roll a d12 and see who goes first.
I have 11.
Oh, very good. AJ just rolled a 7 on that one, so you go first.
Is AJ just at the edge of the map? Or like is he back in the ring?
So AJ's still outside of the ring looking in.
Okay. I will. I don't know if I want to jump out of the ring or if I just want to throw a card at him. Fuck.
Whatever you think is good.
I guess I'll just throw a card at him and tell him to like hurry up. Because I want to fight. Like I came for a fight, not to just walk up this ladder. Like I mean I do own the place, but I want to fight.
Sure, you wanna make it worth. Not just standard climb up, get it, and hey, I won. No effort. Fair enough. You take one of your cards. Is there any card in particular that you wish to chuck at him?
The 4. Like,
You go, you just feel, oh, screw this. You just take one of your cards, being the 4, whip it towards him. Roll me an attack against him, please. That is d12. That'll be plus your cunning.
is it D12 or D6? Because I thought we switched to D6.
Oh no, it's a d12 for attacks, d6 for like stat checks, stat saves, bits like that.
I currently can't see what my cunning is, but I got a 6 on my roll. So I think my cunning's 6.
I will double check that for you. No need to worry. It is. Yep, you have a cunning of 6. So, and what did you roll on yours again? Sorry.
What did you say?
What did you roll again?
A 6, so I have a total of 12.
Lovely stuff. You roll a 12. The card seems to scuff AJ. It seems to scuff part of his shoulder, but doesn't seem to have the full impact that it would normally do. It only deals your harm, cunning, and damage, so he only takes 3 points of damage.
Also,
Anything-
no, I'm just gonna again tell him to hurry.
He looks at you as if to think, all right, I know what you want. He's got to wait for his turn to do it. You've still got a little bit of your turn left.
Not really. I want to fight, but I don't want to get out of the ring.
That's absolutely fine. You just go in there, you're like taunting him, telling him, get in here, let's get it on. And that is what AJ will do. On his turn, he will climb into the ring, crowd getting a little bit more heated as they're like, oh yeah, here we go. We're going to actually get a fight this time. As AJ looks to you and goes to extend a hand as if to shake your hand out of sportsmanship, or you guys go for a proper battle.
Against my better judgment, I will actually shake his.
Okay, cool. You go to shake his hand. It's a nice firm shake. It's a good shake. The crowd are in appreciation of it. And then AJ goes to try and Irish whip you towards the ladder.
I don't exactly know what that move is, but
So an Irish whip is literally taking you by the hand or arm and just throwing you against something.
awesome then.
And it's
At least I'm
terrible because you
close
only
to
rolled a
the
1.
I don't even hit.
So it's like as if he tries to do an Irish whip, but you just stand in place and stop him, as if to go, try again.
And I'm so light compared to him. How is he not able to move me?
I know, the magic of wrestling. And so his anger peaks. And as his anger peaks, he attempts to roll for a simple lariat to see if he can just smack you down. Are you fucking kidding me?
He can't.
The 1 again.
You should take damage for this.
So Artemis is probably just sitting, like, kind of standing there. Because, like, they've trained with AJ. They know that AJ isn't this.
Like, AJ's not normally this clumsy or foolhardy. He's normally a really beastly guy, but for some reason tonight, he's not performing. He goes for that lariat. You see it coming from an absolute mile away. Just duck that little bit. And he just goes "Whoa," and stumbles a little bit as if to like bounce on his feet away from you, a little bit close to the ropes. As he just holds onto the ropes to just go "Ugh," and look over to you again, as if to go, okay, now I'm good. Hopefully he is. Bloody hell. Right.
Hey,
Let's do another D12 off to see who goes first. God damn it, AJ.
Oh.
I got a 5.
But AJ got a 3, so you go again.
Oh.
Oh my god, AJ.
God damn it, AJ.
It wasn't the fact he
I'm
was such
just
an
gonna,
arse to it the first time we met him. I feel sorry for him.
I know,
Oh.
right? Decimated Lavania in like a test match can't do shit against Artemis in a proper pay-per-view.
and I'm like I'm not even half the weight of Lavanya either. I'm tiny.
Exactly.
Anyway, so my turn. I will kind of pause at the beginning and like just look at him because I know he can do better because I've seen him with Lavanya. Like I know he can do better than this. So I'm just like I pause and I like look at him for a second and I'm like, dude, take a breath. Like calm down. And like I just tell him like calm. And like I just wait for a minute and then I go to punch.
Lovely. There's a is calm. Going in for your own punch. Go for that punch. That'll be a D12 plus your power.
I got an 8.
Hooray. With that being done, your D12 plus that, you go to swing your punch, and AJ's listened to your words as he's just gone. And as he's let that breath out, he looks over, sees where that punch is going, and seemingly just swerves out of the way.
All he needed was a breath.
Do scuff him a little bit with that, because it wasn't a complete miss. So with that, he does take 2 points of damage.
Not bad. Okay. Do I still get another move, or is that it?
Oh
that I
yeah,
can do?
that's only one move. You have, with your sequence, you can do up to 2 moves per turn.
Okay. Mm. I'm gonna throw the tax down. Like, not. I don't know how he's stationed. Like, not at him, but like behind him on the mat. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than like throwing them between his legs. So like, I'm not trying to hit him with the tax. I'm trying to put him behind him.
So just basically trying to trip him over onto his back.
I mean, eventually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Or at least try to.
Yes. Now with him. Sorry for the delay. I was just trying to process it. Yeah. Let's go for it. With that intention in mind, let's have a look through my move list. See what we can consider this. Your intention is just to attack him in the back, or
My intention was to, I guess, down him, because, like, I want him to fall backwards, because I'm putting the tax behind him, so I want him to fall backwards onto the tax.
gotcha. Well, you set the tax out, seemingly onto the floor. With those tacks being laid out, there are many ways of which you can knock him down, be it with a strike, a grapple, or a hold. The move list is very large, and you have a lot of choices at your disposal. Even if you don't know any of the moves, is there any way you would preferably want to take him down?
Probably something like a grapple, but like a kick to the back of the knees. That's what it is. A kick to the back of the knees.
That'll do
And like
it.
a punch in the face.
Sure, like a classic granddad maneuver. I like this. Right. With this in mind, you're trying to be intelligent with this strike, because you're trying to strike him in such a way where he's just going to go "Whoa," into the thumbtacks. So, roll me a d12 plus smarts.
$13.
Ooh, that'll just about do it. And as you collide with him, you seem to knock him on the back of his knees, whack him a bit on the front at the same time, like a unanimous blow. As you perform this, he just feels like he's careening backwards. First, some damage goes through. So with that in mind, using your smarts, he takes 4 points of damage. Go, so that'll off that much health. And he begins to lose feeling in his legs. Is kind of leaning backwards. Can he make a quick save for me? Let's find out. Of course he bloody can't. And with that in mind, it seems as if you have knocked him with such strength that he just collapsed backwards into your thumbtacks. Now, these thumbtacks are very, very small, but they are many. Artemis, to help me to calculate damage for your thumbtack, would you mind rolling me a d6?
I got a 3.
And as a result of that, can you roll me 3d4s and add them together?
Six.
Lovely stuff. With that in mind, AJ takes another 6 points of damage by landing onto the thumbtacks and has 6 tacks stuck into his back. So deep that he's really feeling it and he's just careened upwards, feeling that pain surge into his back Maybe shark on, but damn can these tacks still pierce through that skin. Ouch.
Am I allowed to do anything else this turn?
You
Or
can
is
move
that the end of my
around.
turn?
You can move around. You can use any skills that you think you might be able to use. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, since I can move, I'm gonna go grab that chair so I have it in my hand.
Lovely stuff. Use the rest of your move. You kind of like, you move around where the ladder is because the ladder's set in the center of the ring. Move around it to the other side as you go to grab your chair. Take it up from the apron. And are you going to keep that chair in your hands, or are you just going to set it up nearby?
I'm gonna keep it in my hands for right now.
Okie dokie. So you grab the ladder, keep it in your hands as if to go, oh, I've got something else, big boy. And this is when we go back to AJ. AJ's currently on the floor, screaming in pain. He doesn't like the pain. The pain definitely hurts him. He rolls himself back up. Some of the thumbtacks falling off of his back, but the audience behind him can just see, ooh, as they just see like a series of tacks stuck into his back still. As he looks towards you, as if to, like, of course you can't see his face, but his body language as if to say, tacks, really? And what he begins to do, he begins to walk towards you. But as he's walking towards you, he grabs a hold of the ladder as if to be like in a pose of intimidation. But then seems to look up towards the belt, look towards you, as you hear him say, "I'm sorry," and he tries to climb up the ladder. I'm gonna roll a check to see how successful he is with his ladder climb. For God's sake, AJ, you piece of shit.
Is there any chance I can hit his back with the chair?
Well, because he rolled a 1, I'm gonna let you do it.
That was the whole point of me getting the chair, was either as he was still laying down to hit more tacks, or just to hit the tacks in his back. So I'm gonna
Ooh.
use the metal chair, and I'm aiming directly to hit all of the 6 tacks that are still stuck in his.
I like it. With that in mind, I would like you to roll for me with your with your fan chair by your side. I want you to roll me a d12 because you were smart about this and you were hoping for something like this would happen. Roll me a d12 plus your smarts.
I got 11.
That is not that great, actually. You go swinging with the intention to smack his back hard enough to not just inflict damage initially, but to also dig in those attacks that little bit more. You do smack him with the chair, but the chair just doesn't get it all off on it. But instead of rolling 1d6, I will gladly let you roll 1d4 for damage.
Two.
Okay, so he only takes 2 damage from that chair shot. And
I
out
mean,
of
better than nothing.
consideration, with your steel chair, do you mind rolling me a d4 with your steel chair?
I got a 3.
Okay, you smacked him relatively well. Not a full hit. The chair's in still some pretty good condition. If you wanted to, you could still use that chair 2 more times before it is classed as booked.
Not bad.
Nice. So you smacked AJ as AJ just literally just started on the ladder. He hasn't even climbed anywhere. And as you smacked AJ, he's just looking over at you again. He seems to take a couple of steps up the ladder, but doesn't climb any higher. as he looks down and tries to go for a jumping clothesline down into. Come on, AJ, finally do fucking nothing, you piece of shit. Oh my god. Just so people realise, I'm not doing this on purpose.
Ouch.
I genuinely try to keep this genuine, just because you never know how dramatic or hilarious these matches are going to be if you do it this way. AJ is so shit! Oh my god, I don't know what's happened. It's probably stage fright because he's not used to wrestling in front of so many people. But holy damn, AJ.
My bad luck with dice have transferred to AJ
Very
from
true.
last week.
Very true. Oh, wow.
I
So-
feel like AJ's just scared to hit me.
That might even be the case. Like, he's just such a good friend and he's known you for so long. It's kind of like he's trying his best, but he's got that hesitant feeling in his head that he just can't nail it. To put into perspective, he only rolled with his stat improvements. He only rolled. He only rolled a 9 versus your AC. So that is.
You got another nat 1? What?
Well, this is. Well, he rolled a 3. Got a power stat of 6. So he tried, but it just didn't work out. But because of that, he drops down. Doesn't hit you as well as he was hoping. It does scuff you a little bit, though. You do take 3 points of damage.
I'm still pretty healthy. I can do. So is it my turn again, or is it his?
Well.
Or do we have to?
So AJ jumped down. He tried and he failed again. But now he's in a prime location. He sees you got the chair. He's going to try and pry the chair out of your hands. Grab it and use it for his own dastardly. He's going to try and roll a power check against you. He's doing this in the style of an attack, so it's going to be against your AC. That's more like it. Holy damn, okay. He rolled a 16 versus your AC.
Finally.
He finally does something, I know, right? After fighting with you over the chair, he manages to grab the chair from you. And as he grabs the chair from you, he looks like he's going to like throw it against you. But in fact, he actually like quickly goes over to the corner, sets up the chair underneath the top turnbuckle post, as if to like let it be stuck between the top and middle turnbuckle post. As he then sees you, grabs your head and tries to smash you into the setup chair.
Damn, that got violent real fast.
It's a perfect hit.
I don't think I can do anything to avoid that.
So, with how the rolls now works, he got a perfect hit by successfully rolling a 12. This means that... Now, how does this work with weapons? Because, of course, when it comes to doing actual moves, it uses the stat allocated to that move, and if you were to do a perfect hit, it does favor damage instead of regular damage. With weapons, he's already done 1d6. So, let me roll the 1d6 and we'll see what happens for me. So he rolls 2 on the d6. Now, because he's being powerful while doing this, he will add his power into it. There's 6, 7, 8 points of damage to you as you get smashed into that chair.
I'm staying.
So he smashes you into that bad boy. Crowd are going... Actually, how is the crowd reacting? Liam!
Yes.
Let's find out.
1d12.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay, they're hype. A lot of people just really like the violence of this as he's gone from pathetic wrestler that just can't seem to work to smashing your head into a set-up chair. That's hardcore old school standards, boys. Crowd loving it. You've been dealt damage. The chair only has, he's getting a little bit flimsy. You can definitely see a dent in the chair with where your head was. But the chair doesn't seem to be down and out yet. It has one more use in it before it passes out. And with that in mind, it is time to roll again to see who goes next.
I got a 5.
Oh, AJ got a 6. Okay, here we go. It's starting to pick up a bit. So after smashing you into the chair, AJ seems to like get a new bit of inspiration with him. And as you're smashed into the chair, you're holding onto your head with the sheer impact of it. As AJ kind of like puts his fists up and clenches them as he looks up into the sky, thinking, "I can do this." He runs over into the turnbuckles opposite you, bounces off of them, rolls on back, and tries to go for bulldog on you to slam you down to the mat. For God's sake. And we're back to this again, are we, AJ? Back to this.
Oh dear, poor AJ.
He runs, bounces off of the turnbuckle ropes, goes to grab you, but then he just seems to do a butt slam to the ground with you not following. As you're just, if anything, you just look at him just to go, "Really? You did that well, and now this?" Dude.
I'm sorry, I'm just. What the hell, AJ?
These
feel bad for
rolls are
this
awful. I feel sorry for AJ. And with this, AJ, again frustrated, he's just going to use his fist and smack the ring as he just frustratedly gets up again. Looks over at you, thinks to himself, "Well, if the chair's doing me justice, I might as well use it." Pries the chair back out and just simply goes to smash you over the head again with the chair.
Always from my head. Damn.
That is a 14 versus your AC.
Artemis is gonna have such a headache after this.
So that in mind, smashes you over the head with it, but how much damage does it deal? Let's have a look. That does 5 points of damage. And as that collides with your skull, it's like as if the chair suddenly just breaks in half because of the little dent that was left into it earlier from your head. Just dents in half and is seemingly unusable at this point. So AJ just chucks it out of the ring behind it.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit there and hold my head for a minute.
And with that done, he's just going to look over at you. He's going to go, "You want to fight? Let's do this."
Okay. Where's AJ in relation to the ladder?
So the ladder is directly to your left, AJ's right. AJ is quite close to the ring ropes and the corner at this point.
Is there any way I can get him closer to the ladder without hitting him? Like,
You can
I
you
just
can
motion him to go to the ladder?
you can try Irish whipping him into the ladder.
I guess I'll try that, but we'll see how that goes.
No worries. Let's have a look. So roll me a d12 because you're still trying to be relatively smart with it because you're planning ahead. You've got a plan in your head. Want to see it through. Roll me a d12 plus your smarts to see if you can successfully Irish whip towards where you want him to go.
It's a 14.
That's pretty darn good, actually. You grab him as if to think, nope. Yeah, you use an Irish whip to whip him over to where the ladder is, and he is whipped into the ladder. And as he is whipped into the ladder, he actually takes a couple of points of damage as well because he does smack into it a little bit. But the ladder's still standing quite tall without being toppled over.
Not bad. Okay, so now I'm by the ropes.
Yes.
I want to use the absolute rest of my movement. I want to like run into the ropes so and slingshot towards him and climb him and use him to get to the top of the ladder.
Oh, damn. So, to perform this, go bouncing off of a turnbuckle, charging towards him as if to use him as leverage to get to the top of the ladder, I want you to roll me a smarts check. See if that all succeeds for you.
I rolled a 9. I had to roll a d6, right?
That's a d6 plus your smarts. That would have been whatever you rolled plus 4.
9.
Nice. That's not too bad. The bouncing off the rope part, you nail as you bounce off the ropes and you're launched towards AJ. The climbing of AJ goes quite well. You climb up AJ as if to make him think, what the, woo. And as you climb onto his back, you use his back as leverage, jump up the ladder. You are now 20 feet up the ladder.
That's good.
Now, of course, you have used the rest of your movement to get now 20 feet up the ladder. If you wanted to, you still have an attack left over, and you could do something that involves jumping off said ladder. But that's only if you wanted to, or you could just stay on the ladder and end your turn.
I don't want to jump, but I will throw a card at it.
Oh, I like it. Why sacrifice yourself when you can just throw a card at him? You take your card. Is there any card in particular again, or are you just going to go random?
The Empress card.
Very nice. Draw the Empress. You chuck the Empress behind you as if to aim downward. Straight down onto AJ. As a result of that, that'll be a d12 plus your smarts. But for the sake that you have the high ground, I'll let you roll this with favour.
I think I got a 13. If I'm adding that right.
That would be d6 plus 6, because that... No. Did I say smarts or cunning? Because it should have been cunning. So that should be d6 plus 9. That's for you.
I rolled a perfect. It's 15.
Oh, lovely stuff. You nailed it. That card has gone down, smacked AJ. It's even dug into AJ a little bit, so he's going to have to pry that out of him because it's quite sharp on the edge. And damage-wise, if we have a look, because this will be triggered off of Old Reliable. Here's Vest crowd eruptions. I remember right. Here we go. Okay. Do outside the box. When you commit to a move, you may incorporate a weapon. That makes sense. So because that is a good hit, I will let you roll. What does it say for? I think I've added in the tarot. Yeah, here they are. So you get to roll 2d4 for damage. And 1 card.
He got lucky. It's only 2 damage.
Ooh, yeah. Gets away. That's 2 pretty good damage. Okay, you finish your turn. You are 20 feet up the ladder. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. The title hanging just a simple 10 feet away. Easy enough to grab. Now, AJ. What's he going to do? He is going to first roll the d12 against you to see whether he does go first or whether you go first.
I got a 6.
AJ rolled an 11. So if AJ not really liking that he just had another card thrown at him, he's going to take the dug-in card and just kind of like pull it out of him, look at it, and just chuck it onto the mat. And as he does, he looks up at you, 20 feet up in the air, and he's a little bit at odds with himself. Does he go up to you on your side of the ladder, or does he start climbing the other side of the ladder? Trying to weigh this up, and you know what? I'm actually going to roll something. What he comes up with. No, he's just going to say, screw going round and doing it that way. I'm just going to climb this side of your arm. He's going to attempt to climb up the ladder behind you. And he's going to try and climb up behind you and set it in such a way so that you would be having your legs sat on his shoulders. In order to achieve this, first he must roll a check to see if he can put that all together, which he does. Effectively, he climbs up the ladder. As he climbs up the ladder, he comes from underneath you, seemingly butting his head in between your legs, and it's kind of like a carry on his shoulders with you on top of his shoulders. And he grabs onto the ladder at first, but then he grabs onto your waist, holding, like, bringing his hands up and grabbing your waist, as he just goes, let's see how you like this, and tries to jump off the ladder with you on his shoulders.
Is there any way I can count?
Not yet. We'll see how his roll does first. Whoa! There's a 15 versus your AC.
I'm dead. That's a 20-foot drop.
So what he does is, he jumps off of the ladder with you on his shoulders. You start dropping down as he seems to move you off of his shoulders, move you in front of him into a makeshift power bomb down into the mat. The power bomb ends up dealing 6 points of damage, but because of a 20-foot drop, it does inflict an extra 3 points of damage to you, so that's 9 total.
I still think I have more than 50 health.
Righty. As a response as well, it actually hits AJ quite badly because it is a 20-foot drop. He actually takes 6 points of damage just committing to that move himself.
At least I'm not the only one getting.
Oh no. With that move being done, AJ just seems to get up out of it all. His back's a little bit painful because he has landed badly on his tailbone, but he is still quite poised. And before he attempts climbing the ladder again, he thinks it's best to make sure that you stay down, at least for good this time. He is just going to try and simply do a body splash onto you as you lay on the ground. But that is only a 12 versus your AC.
Thank God.
With that in mind, he goes to splash. You do see it coming and try rolling out of the way. It does scuff you a bit, but so it doesn't nearly do as much damage as intended. You only take 3 points of damage.
That's not too bad.
And with that in mind, that will be AJ's turn done, and is now your turn. You are classed as downed, so you will need to spend half of your move, to get back to a standing position.
I'm gonna lay there for a second and like breathe because that was a long fall.
Was
Then
quite
yeah,
a
I'm gonna
bit.
get up. I guess I'm probably like kind of like hunched over, like holding myself because long fall, like just flat, like that hurt.
Oh yeah.
Is AJ still like on the ground though?
AJ's up on his feet. After he somewhat botched that splash. He does just quickly get up afterwards, but he is holding onto his tailbone quite hard.
Okay. I want to kick him in the knees again because I want him to land on his tailbone again because that's really damaging.
Alrighty. Let's see how this goes. You go to cunningly kick him into his knees to drive him down onto his butt. We will class this as a drop kick, and I will class this as cunning. So roll me d12 plus cunning, please.
$14.
That is actually pretty nice. You drop kick his knees. And as you drop kick his knees start to buckle a little bit. But first, damage. I have a butcher's. You have 6 cunning. So with that in mind, he will take 6 points of damage. But then will he be collapsing onto his tailbone? Let's have a look. He's going to make a quick save for me. Oh, of course he doesn't make it. Great job, AJ. Great job. As he falls backwards, he lands badly on his tailbone again. And you can just see him just scream out going, ah! As if he might have felt something click, but it didn't click hard enough for you to hear anything. But that in itself, roll me a d6.
So
Okay, he takes an extra 3 points of damage just because of that.
AJ is my favorite character.
And because of that, AJ will be classed as downed.
Awesome. Well, since he's down, I'm gonna use whatever I have left in movement to start climbing.
Okie dokie. That in mind. Oh, excusez-moi. So let me see. You use half your move to do that, to get up from a down position. I'd say you used at least 10 feet to get to where you were, to run on over and drop kick AJ in the knees. So with 10 feet remaining, start climbing that ladder, you are 10 feet high.
Good.
Nice. Right. Let's see where this goes now. We'll roll a d12, but as we roll a d12, Vinny, what are the crowd thinking of this match so far?
They're fucking loving it. It's a 12.
Oh boy. Crowd love it. We love it. Everybody love it. So much love.
I'm not loving it right now because I got a nat 1.
Oh. It bad. And AJ rolled an 8. So he will go again. But he is downed. That in mind, he will have to spend half of his move getting up onto his feet. And as he gets up onto his feet, he can see that you're climbing the ladder at this moment in time. Instead of trying to climb up on your side of the ladder, he's going to take to the other side and start climbing up there. Climbing up to 10 feet before trying to throw a punch through the ladder to try and hit you on the other side. Ooh. Oh no. That is a 17 versus your AC.
Whoa, then.
Finally being able to hit. So he seamlessly just punches through the ladder to whack you, and he manages to deal 6 points of damage to you.
Okay. Am I still on the ladder?
Well, I need you to roll me a toughness save. See if you stay on. That'll be just a d6 plus your toughness.
A 10.
And that's pretty good. Like, the punch does seem to rock you because you wouldn't seem to expect him to punch through the holes of a ladder. But even though it did clock you pretty hard, you are able to readjust yourself, grab onto the ladder again. You're absolutely fine. AJ's quite parched. Even though he had enough strength in him to do that, he is going to have to just take a moment on that ladder at 10 feet up in the air and take a breather. As he takes his breather, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna look through the ladder as he's taking a breather. I'm just gonna tell him, like, I'll see you on the other side. And then keep climbing the ladder. I want to get to the top.
You climb the ladder to the top, and as you get to the top, you see the belt on its own little harness, and it is now up to you to break into that harness and claim that belt if you can, and of course if you want to, unless you want to do anything else crazy.
So it's in a harness, like, suspended, right?
Yeah, so kind of think of it as the belt, like the harness is kind of like try and think of it like a triangle shaped harness where the belt is wrapped over it and clasped in.
Okay.
So in order to break it out, you can kind of have to unattach the belt from it. You have to roll a check to try and do it.
Can I just throw a card and cut the belt? Like, cut the thing that's holding it in the air?
I like this. If you want to do that, roll me a d12 plus. No, yeah, I want to say you're using your cunning with this. D12 plus your cunning to try and cut the bars. You do that, I'll let the cat out.
16.
What did you roll, sorry?
I got a 10 plus my cunning is 16.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. It's like as if you had the fortune card in your hand as you chucked it, snapped the bar, and as you snap the bar, the belt seems to just lean, the bar leans over, and the belt, even though you snap it open, starts to fall.
I'm just gonna open my arms for it to fall into my arms.
Let's see if it works. I want you to roll me. Now this can go a multitude of different ways, actually. I could do a couple of different saves with it. How about you roll me? Now this was obviously you did this out of using your brain and your intelligent way of thinking. So roll me a smarts check to see if you can grab that belt, because this is all a part of your elaborate plan.
A 9.
And as you seemingly go to grab the belt, at first, it seems as if it's too late. It seems as if your grasp is just ever so far away. But then you feel that belt in your hands. You grab onto it. That belt is coming home. To Artemis, congratulations. You have just won this ladder match.
Woo!
Dope.
Yay.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Sweet.
With some crazy ass antics and some smart use of your cards, you have claimed the first ever reign of the Hand of Fate Championship, with AJ looking up at you, still leaning on the ladder, as you have this belt in your hands, officially crowned.
So I have to wait 3 seasons, and she gets one in her first damn match.
Yeah, because I deserve it. I don't know. My
Shoot.
question is, what would AJ even do with this belt? He's not a tier.
Well, you would know that AJ, if he won that belt, he would only really be using the title of that belt to claim a championship match against Mike Jaws if Lavanya didn't do well in her.
Well then.
Think of it as like he would only use it as a stepping stone to get to Jaws rather than using it as an actual title.
Well, Lavanya, if you don't knock Jaws down, I guess I.
Maybe.
Stuff, yeah. And okay, you have successfully won the match. Do you want to celebrate in any way in particular as you're in the ring?
Once I'm back at the bottom of the ladder, because I don't think I really want to jump 30 feet down, I guess, like, I'll just, like, check on AJ and make sure he's okay, like, make sure, like, a medic gets in to check on.
That's nice. Yeah. So you just check on the med team. They just seem to come in, check on AJ. He seems a bit winded, but they calmly take him off of the ladder. He's still standing up. He's holding onto his tailbone a bit, but he's standing up and he's okaying himself to just stand on his own 2 feet. The health guys just being there just in case.
I guess I want to shake his hand for real this time with him not trying to launch me into the ladder.
So you extend your hand out, and as you do, he goes to take it with no actual volition to want to Irish whip you into anything. He just takes your hand, shakes it, looks over to you, and just goes, "Congratulations, you deserve this win. You did very well."
I mean, after I got my head smashed into a chair a couple times, I guess I did.
I mean, if you're going to be champion, you have to admit, got to be ready for no disqualifications.
I mean, I always have my cards. I, I just have to make sure that when I have the chance to be disqualified, I'm just a little more careful with them.
And he looks at you and just goes, "Yeah, those damn cards! Ow!" As he just grabs onto the wound on his shoulder after that one dug into him.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a fool, so that's why my cards don't.
Then AJ just seems to like lean forward a little bit at first, as you hear him just lightly chuckle as he leans his body back to let out a big laugh. There's a big laugh about him being the fool and you guard. But as he leans backwards to laugh, his hood seemingly folds backwards.
Oh no.
And as his
Is it-
hood
Here's
falls
like a-
backwards. Oh, say that.
I mean, he always wears the hood, so I don't want to be revealed. Would there be a chance that I could stop that from happening?
Roll me a wits check.
I rolled a nat 6, so a
Oh,
9.
oh, that's very, very good. Because of that wits save, you see the hood just gradually fading away from him, part of his nose about to be revealed. But because you want to, like, you respect the fact that he wears that hood and you understand the story behind it, you just dash up as if to grab the hood quick and just pull it over, as if to stop the hood from going, and you're successful in doing so. No face reveal yet.
Yay! I made a new friend.
Yay.
And he just looks over at you and just goes, "Oh yeah, maybe when maybe got a little bit too carried away."
Just a little. Remember, take a breath and stay calm.
That's exactly what he does as he takes a breath. Seems to look in your direction again as he just grabs your arm at first to stick it up, but then to think, no, he actually grabs you by your waist, throws you up onto his shoulder, and points at you as if to raise you up for the entire stadium to see that you're the champ.
I'm sorry, that's just adorable.
Aww.
Yeah, it is.
Aww.
New champion is crowned. So, Evie, Artemis, congratulations, you are the Hand of Fate champion. As a result of this, now you can do this with one of two different ways. You can give me a number between 1 and 100, or you can roll a 100-sided dice to decide what your championship does.
I rolled a dice and I got 52.
Okay, 52. Oh, shit.
What?
The Hand of Fate Championship has the following power. And I will copy and paste this into the Discord server so you can
Oh my god.
actually read it as well. When you successfully land an attack, your inner angel or demon is unleashed with it. Roll 1d4 and add the following effect. A 1 or 3. The demonic side of you creates a homed spectre that dives down onto an opponent, dealing an additional 1d6 plus appeal damage. 2 or 4. The angelic side of you creates a winged spectre that dives into the soul of yourself or an ally, healing them for 1d6 plus appeal.
Oof.
This perfectly fits my character though.
This is why I went, oh
Yeah.
shit, because I'm like, oh damn, that's actually
Oh, damn.
loose. So there's the description in the Discord server if you want it.
That's where all my luck went today, was in that one.
In that one roll, it was so worth it. Awesome. Congratulations. As AJ finishes with you on his shoulder, he takes you down. He even opens the ring ropes for you so you can be led out of the ring as you guys head back up the ring together. As the stagehand is taking you back to the changing rooms where the other guys are, AJ splits off from you because he is just going to get checked over by the emergency crew, but he says he'll meet up with you later. He might even meet up with the old man and some of the kids that he knows are in the audience to see if he can watch the rest of the matches from the audience.
Oh.
But you're brought back over to the changing room. The door swings open. The guys have been watching the match from back here. Guys, everyone's a champion in this room now.
Yay!
Yes, we are.
Woo!
Nice
Yeah.
one, newbie.
Good job, Artemis.
Well done.
I have to say, I'm impressed.
I mean, it would have been a lot easier if I didn't have to fight AJ, because, you know, I would have just won by default. I didn't want to fight my.
Well, you could see it as a kind of friendly sparring match, right?
I mean, I feel kind of bad because I broke his tailbone.
I think AJ will recover. He seems like
Yeah,
a strong guy.
He will be all right. He knows that sometimes wrestling things happen and it will hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Pretty
sorry,
much.
Lavanya, too, that I did a better job at fighting AJ than.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That moment's been past and gone, and I've thrown my fists enough. Yeah, I just thrown my fists enough of the punching bag to know that I can't stay angry forever.
That's a really good character improvement.
I know, it's called character development. I mean, what?
Development? What?
Development?
In a tabletop role-playing game involving dice rolls? Oh
What?
no! Nani? Anyway,
Yeah. Besides, I have bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying?
well, hey.
And gives like a knowing smile.
Now, Artemis, there's something you should know. When you come back into this changing room and everyone's celebrating, the door's still slightly ajar. And as the door's slightly ajar, you get this feeling that you're being watched.
Oh. Real quick, how fast am I?
Well, bearing in mind that you're a cruiserweight, you're pretty darn fast.
Okay, I want to, because I have that feeling, and usually that means somebody is watching me. I'm gonna turn around and just like drop kick that door open into whoever's watching me.
Alright. You just, like, with that natural instinct in you, you just snap round and you think drop kicking the door. I want you to roll me a d12 plus cunning against the door.
This just reminds me about how when I was playing Escape from Tarkov earlier today, there was this the first level door in the hideout, it looks like somebody kicked through it, and well, it reminded me of that.
Nice.
I got a 15.
Oof.
Does it break the door off its hinge?
You kick that door so hard that it just bursts off of its hinges and just smacks against the wall opposite the room, completely shocking everyone else in the room. Whilst they're probably looking over to you, just going, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Do I see who was looking in at me? And at.
Now, when you drop kick the door, you drop kick the door with enough momentum so that you went with the door slightly. So you're in the middle of getting up in the hallway that you were walking down earlier. And as you look to your right, you see that there seems to be a figure there with like a black cloak over them, like covering their body, being a similar like shape and body size, like size and body shape to yourself.
What?
It seems to be like a very scared individual that's just holding on and like shaking in the knees as they're looking at you.
Did I just scare a fan? I'm gonna.
Yeah. Carry on.
I'm gonna set my belt down like on the floor, and like put my hands up like I'm not gonna hurt you. Like you just startled me. And I'm just gonna move closer because I want to know who it is. And I kind of just ask like, who are you?
I'm just gonna roll a save. She's scared shitless.
Also, it's a she.
Oh yes, it is a she. You can identify that it does seem to be a young girl, similar age, size, shape to yourself. And as you do this and start to slightly approach her, but in like a calm, meaningful way, she's just so scared that she just seems to like jump a little and just run. She seems to like run around the corner that's about 10 feet in front, and it seems to vanish away. But as she dashes away, she has left something behind. It's a letter. And that letter has your name on it.
Real quick though, first, do I know what race she is? Like, is she a human?
Roll me a smarts check. Because that cloak she was wearing was trying to hide bits.
I got a 9 because my smarts is 4. Yeah, 9.
Okay. With that roll, at first when you saw her, you saw elements of an elf about her. You first thought drow? Like another dark elf? But when you had a better look at her, when you were just slowly approaching her, you realized that she seemed to resemble a drow, but something was off about her. Where drows tend to have some pretty dark coloured skin, or in your case, quite greyish skin to simulate shadow or night, she seems to be like an off purple. Something's not quite right with her. She's definitely elven.
Okay. Can I run after?
You could certainly do that.
I'm gonna like as I'm running, I'm gonna snatch that letter up and I'm just gonna book it after her because I need answers.
Right. You get on up, snatch that letter as you're charging upward, running down the corridor after her. You take a turn at that left turn that she ended up taking, and she seemingly vanished. You have no identification of where she's gone. Can't see anything to identify where she might have gone.
And of course, I don't have any magic abilities to sense where she is.
Sadly,
Okay,
no.
I guess I'll just read the letter then, because maybe that will answer my.
So you take a look at the envelope. It's a very standard, little bit shoddy envelope. It's just hastily written Artemis on there. Quite nice handwriting, mind you, but hastily written. As you open up the letter, it's got a note inside. The note inside reads, "Dear Artemis, I apologize that I did not show up for our match. I was intended to be your opponent. But let's just say there's something from our childhood that still plagues me. Something that stopped me from entering that ring. I managed to convince myself that going into the ring was a bad idea because I did not want to hurt my friend. I didn't wish for it to be what becomes champion. I'm very thankful that you have won your match against AJ. It was amazing to watch. Look forward to what you accomplish in the future. The nicest way possible, I hope our paths do not properly meet. Because although you are a friend to me, I do not wish to harm you. Yours sincerely, Agatha."
Can I plans to go meet Agatha? What the hell? I'm so confused, but okay.
So, you recall, after reading the letter, you're like, who the hell's Agatha? And it seems to come back to you like a burst of nostalgia. You seemingly remember your childhood. You seemingly remember an important part of your childhood, where you were first learning tarot cards. And as you were learning these tarot cards, you had a friend. And this friend of yours was interested and wanted to have a reading done. And this reading, if I get my notepad out, went a little something like this. You did a reading in a Celtic cross spread. With that Celtic cross spread, it revealed the following cards in the following order. The first card representing where this friend of yours is currently at, represented the reversed chariot. Sign of lack of control, lack of direction. Second card, the obstacle that is stopping them, is strength. Strength card, representing inner strength, bravery. Third card, representing their desire, is the upright lovers card, representing partnership, duality, union. Fourth card, representing the tools they have at their disposal, being the upright magician, representing manifestation. The fifth card, representing the past, is the reversed Eight of Wands, representing panic, waiting, with a slow pace. The sixth card, representing the heading, is the upright world, representing completion, saying that she is heading in that direction. The seventh card, representing the attitude she has, represented as the Page of Cups upright, relating to that of a dreamer who's quite sensitive. The eighth card being the energy that this person has within them, being represented as the Three of Cups that's upright, represents friendship, community, happiness. Number 9 representing the fear side of this friend of yours, which is represented by the Ten of Swords upright, representing failure, defeat. And the last card of the spread, the 10th card that represents the outcome, represented as the King of Swords, reversed, simply revolves around unpredictability. You remember this reading as your first major reading of a friend. Your friend seemed puzzled, but at the same time concerned, not quite understanding what this reading meant, but interested to see where this might lead. This friend of yours was Agatha. She was a drow, just like you. You have not seen Agatha in what seems to be at least 10 years. And suddenly she's turned up again. Very scared, very intimidated. What you can remember, not herself.
Is there any way that I can... So wait, do I know if the girl that left the letter was...
You get a strange feeling that the letter was actually the friend of yours, but your inner fortune teller is holding on to this letter as if to think, is there something else at work here?
So wait, was the girl that left it, that ran off, was she Agatha?
You're pretty certain it was.
Okay. Well, yeah, there's something off about it.
Now, that being said, would you like to return to the guys in the changing room with now busted door?
No, I don't. Artemis is just gonna go, like... Artemis is kind of just stuck in their, like, memories right now, so that, like, trying to figure out what's going on. So, I'm just gonna walk, like, with no real destination, just walking.
And with you in deep thought, walk as if you think, what is going on? The guys in the changing room thinking, what the hell? That was a bit sudden, drop kicking the door like that. What the hell? What's that door done to you? With that all being done, and the new champion being crowned, that is how we will end this session of Ring Warriors this week.
Yes.
Emotional story times to end it on. Mystery.
Ooh. Suspenders.
I need to know the answer.
And you will maybe possibly not get your answers. And now next counter, because so that is it for this week. Hope you guys obviously enjoyed both at home and in game. As I said earlier, in case you are late in, there will be no session next week because sadly I am away in London. Then we will be back the week after and continue from where we left off, where Liam will be going toe-to-toe against the mystery opponent of which no one knows anything about.
Yes, and it has been hinted for like past 3 weeks.
I know, right? We've been waiting in anticipation. Who could it be?
Yes.
We have literally seen and heard and gained no hints about anyone whatsoever. Awesome.
Mhm.
It'd be very interesting to see what happens. And on that session as well, we might potentially begin the main event between Lavanya and Mike Jaws.
Can't wait.
But until that time, so we're not going to be back next week, but the week after, In the meantime, have a fantastic day, evening, and afternoon, wherever you guys may be in the world. That is goodbye from the Wing Warriors crew.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. And I shall myself continue a little bit longer. Well, maybe.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome. Check
Of
out
course.
Foxy if you are watching live, because then he'll be probably live streaming some more stuff. In the meantime,
Yes.
guys, goodbye from them. Goodbye from me. Stay explosive. We'll be seeing you guys next time. See you then.
Good night.